Hello again, friends. Welcome back to part 2 of the EVO Melee Singles Recap for 2016, brought to you by Panda Global. It's a bit delayed due to some user interface issues we were having with my brain, but we are back now, and we're going to examine the journey of the top 4 players in the singles bracket. Let's take a look at what they did. The first player we're looking at is Cloud9's Mango. He had a lot of eyes on him going into this event, which isn't really a surprise since he appears to be almost everybody's favorite player. But he had a specific goal for this tournament, which was to win his 3rd EVO Melee event. He clocked in at 4th place last year, denying him the distinction of winning 3 EVOs in a row, so he was back with a vengeance to at least claim his 3rd championship in total. Competition at the high end, however, was fiercer than ever, with no obvious favorite to win, so let's see how things went for the kid. Mango's bracket kicked off fairly early, with him fighting Mitchell Tang in semis and Mike Hayes in winners finals of his second phase of pools. Off the back of that, he advanced to winner's side of top 32 to face off against the German Fox main My Insanity's Ice. Now, Ice and Mango have actually faced off against each other at EVO twice before, with Mango securing 2-0 victories both times. The player matchup, however, remains interesting due to Ice having a fair amount of Fox Ditto experience with Leffen and Armada in Europe. Mango denied some of that experience with the Falco pick, however, and whether that's what he had in mind, no one can be absolutely certain. But whatever the reason, Mango secured another convincing 2-0 over Ice and reached winner's quarters on day 2. Mango faced another interesting player matchup immediately afterwards. He was up against Panda Global's own Plup. Now the two are fast-paced players, they both use small movement mix-ups to bait the opponent into overextending. So, viewers were in for a treat with a close quarters battle that emphasized a lot of mix-up and a lot of bait, with a huge punish waiting for whoever made the first mistake. Since losing to Plup at last year's EVO, Mango has won all of their sets, but they tend to be rather close, including a very tight 3-2 at Smash Summit 2. Their set at EVO started out seeming rather one-sided, Mango winning the first game on Battlefield with a strong 2-stock. Plup ran it back to Battlefield for game 2, and Mango quickly took a 2-stock lead again. A lot of 2s. That's chic for you. Plup, however, closed the gap remarkably quickly, keeping it close for the rest of the match, and clutched out an edge guard to win it, bringing the set to Game 3. Game 3 was neck and neck for almost the entire match. Neither player held on to the lead for more than a few seconds before the other stole it back. One of the biggest factors in deciding this game came to Plup's absolute refusal to die on his 3rd stock, surviving until 148% and taking Mango's 3rd before losing his own. The final stock, however, ended with an anticlimax. Mango double jumped out of his shine into a soft nair from Plup, realized too late that he'd lost it, and up B'd too low to recover. Just like that, Mango dropped into loser's bracket outside of top 8 in the same manner he had the previous year. Game 3 to Plup's Sheik in winners quarterfinals. Mango's final opponent before making top 8 was Zoo, who seemed determined to make a legendary loser's bracket run of his own. After going down in winner's bracket to Winterfox Shroomed, Zoo took a few more names, including Darkrain, Laud, Laudandus, and Chudat, all top 100 players, before facing Mango. Game 1 was a solid showing from Zoo, but not exactly close. Game 2, however, saw Zoo with 3 stocks to Mango's 1. However, almost like he was suddenly remembering what he had showed up to do, Mango took 2 of Zoo's stocks in quick succession, then edged out the 3rd for a comeback, winning the set 2-0 and earning his top 8 spot on day 3. So the question on everybody's mind at this point is Mango going to make another legendary loser's bracket run? Is he going to obliterate everybody in his path to grand finals, get the reset, and take the tournament? Or is he going to bust her out somewhere in the middle? He's done both before, so people are always kind of curious to see what's going to happen. Mango's first set of the day against Pew saw him initially strong but somewhat shaky, allowing Pew to take Game 2 in their set. His second set, played against Mewtwo King, showed the same theme. His victories were dominant, his losses showed some cracks in the armor. For his 3rd set of the day, Mango came up against Team Liquid's Hungrybox, dropped into loser's bracket by Plup. HBOX and Mango have fought repeatedly this year with some back and forth, but Hungrybox has had the edge. Mango lost at Low Tier City 4 but won at DreamHack Austin, lost at EGL, Pound, Battle of the Five Gods, and PAX Arena, but won their head-to-head at Genesis 3. Unlike all those other events, however, this matchup would be 2 out of 3. This meant no Yoshi story for Mango, no Dreamland for Hungrybox. Game 1 was a 2-stock on Battlefield favoring Mango. Without Dreamland and knowing how strong Mango can be on Fountain of Dreams, Hungrybox decided his best bet was to run it back, and he managed to close it out at about the same margin that Mango took Game 1. With all that in mind, Mango sent Game 3 to Pokemon Stadium. He managed an up throw up air to take the stock lead, then lost it quickly. Hungrybox fell behind again, but found an opportunity to trade stocks with Rest and took it, sending it to an even 2-stock game. A shield grab near the edge gave Hungrybox another low % Rest kill, and though Mango dominated his stock immediately on respawn, he was unable to close it out and find the kill. HBOX, surviving well past 100%, threw Mango off the stage, feigned an edge guard, drifted back, and rested Mango's side B recovery to end Mango's 3-vo dream in 2016. This year has seen some ups and downs from Mango, and his EVO performance demonstrated both sides of his play. However, if his top end is as dominant as he demonstrated, we are sure to see more crazy runs from him this year. Next up, we have Panda Global's own Plup checking in at 3rd place. Now, close sets against the top 6 and occasional victories over them usually make his brackets fun to watch, and this was no exception. In fact, this tournament turned out to be particularly momentous for him. Let's take a look at why. Plup's first opponent on day 2 was Javi, renowned fox from Mexico. Javi began Game 1 on Dreamland very strong, but Plup maintained control by finding his grabs, earning damage and position off tech chases, and he managed to turn Javi's strong start into a 3-stock. Javi turned that right around, however, with a counter 3-stock on Pokemon Stadium. Despite trading an even amount of opening hits, Plup was unable to convert into large punishes while Javi maintained consistent output, and the game went his way instead. Game 3 went to Battlefield, and just after Plup took the first stock while at 90%, the stream cut out. Now, witnesses at the scene allege it was a last stock, last hit, high % game, and we'll just have to take their word for it. The bracket can at least confirm that Plup did win 2-1, taking it over Javi and advancing to winners quarterfinals to face against Mango. While we just covered the set, we will talk a bit about Mango and Plup's recent history. After upsetting Mango at EVO last year, Mango has since not lost to Plup, though their sets are typically close enough that it always looks within Plup's reach. This includes their set at Smash Summit 2 earlier this year, which went to last game, last stock, and a sudden vicious death combo from Mango in Game 5 turned it around, clutched it out, and knocked Plup out of the tournament. This year alone, they have played at least 4 times in Losers Bracket, 3 times in Losers Quarterfinals for 5th place, with Mango coming out on top. Plup has tried using his Samus, but his wins have generally come from finding tech chases with Sheik and converting them into edge guards to overcome Mango's aggressive neutral. Winner's Bracket of EVO, however, seems to be a different story. Plup took this one and advanced to winner's semis, punching his ticket for day 3. The very first match of finals day would be Plup versus Liquid's Hungrybox. The two have played many times in Florida, where Plup has won sets before with Fox, Samus, and Sheik. Outside, however, the two have rarely played, and it's always gone HBOX's way. Moreover, at Majors, barring his most recent loss to Wizrobe at What the Fox 2, Hungrybox has not dropped a set to any character but Fox in a long time. Hence, he came into this set the clear favorite. Game 1 started on Fountain of Dreams, and Plup took an early lead, emphasizing Sheik's auto-cancelled fair as his primary spacing tool. He followed with tilts and jabs to cover the lag, earning him numerous 2-hit combos to build percent, and he avoided long combos of his own with a lot of crouch cancelling. As the game went on, Hungrybox and Plup traded hits, but Plup maintained a small and stable lead. He also kept HBOX shoved to the side, allowing him to use Fountain's low platforms to keep up a relentless wall of auto-cancelled and shield-dropped aerials. It had also ensured that Plup took stocks before Hungrybox's percent got too high to set up combos. The last stock went Plup's way with a forward air after HBOX burned all his jumps and dipped too low to recover. Game 2 went to Battlefield. With Dreamland off the table in the 2 out of 3 in their history in Florida, HBOX most likely avoided the FD pick, knowing that Plup had a solid pocket Fox. Game 2 continued in a similar fashion to Game 1, Plup playing a very vertical game with platforms, wanting to avoid staying on the same horizontal plane as Puff to keep her from winning the range war with her disjointed bear, and he also almost completely avoided throwing out any grabs, wanting to avoid Puff's low-profile crouch into rest, and it paid him tremendous dividends in this set. The two chiseled away at each other, Plup barely maintaining a lead, Battlefield giving Hungrybox extra survivability. When last stock rolled around for both players, Plup narrowly escaped a rest setup with what looked like a timing flub, and soon another forward air had shoved HBOX low and off stage. Plup strung together a series of needles to eat away HBOX's jumps, and with an air dodge that didn't quite bring him over the level, HBOX gently drifted down to the bottom of Battlefield and into Losers Bracket, with Plup advancing to Winners Finals. Plup's next battle would be against ARMADA, the only member of the top 6 that he has yet to defeat in tournament. Now, unfortunately for the ambitious Panda, these sets have usually not come very close to victory for him. He's squeezed out the occasional game, he's had a few respectable ones, but by and large, Armada seems to win without sweating too much. Sad for Plup, Winners Finals proved to be a similar story, seeing Armada win with a clean 3-0. After the Swedish monster closed out games 1 and 2 with a 1 stock, then a 3 stock on Plup Chic, Plup tried something new and went Fox for game 3. Unfortunately, Fox is nothing new to Armada, and while Plup's Fox is strong, Armada took a 3-stock win in the last game and dropped Plup into loser's bracket. For losers finals, Plup found himself facing off against Hungrybox once more, this time in a 3 out of 5 format with no bans, and HBOX fresh off his win against Mango. Game 1 seemed Hungrybox favored at the start, taking both a stock and percent lead at the beginning. And against every character but Fox, this historically has been a death sentence for his opponent. Plup found a way to drag the game back to even, however, and closed it with a sneaky back air out of shield that gave him the Game 1 victory. And for Game 2, with no bans, Hungrybox was able to take the match to Dreamland. Plup used space to his advantage to earn an early lead, but a low-profile crouch into rest turned the game around instantly for Hungrybox. At this point, the stage's size gave HBOX the survivability edge, and despite more even exchanges, he closed it out with another rest KO for the 2-stock. Game 3 went to Yoshi's story, hoping to mitigate the Jigglypuff survivability. Plup went to the smallest available stage, but an SD on stock 1, a crouched grab into rest, and downward DI on a forward smash, losing stock 3 at 63%, put Plup to 1 stock against Hungrybox's 4. He managed to take HBOX's 1 stock, but by that point the attrition war was in HBOX's favor, and Game 3 went for the Jigglypuff. Game 4, Plup shook it all off and went back. Though he lost stock 1 to another crouching rest, he took it back nearly instantly. He lost his next stock to a crouch-cancelled rest against his down smash, and nearly immaculate play earned him the next stock, taking only 40%, and further strong play he found the lead. More close exchanges found HBOX near KO percent, and Plup still hanging onto his 3rd stock before losing it to a trade of aerials, making it 1-1. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it was over. HBOX crossed through Plup with a nair to center stage, landing Chic on the right platform. Calling his descent, Hungrybox up-tilted him out of the air, comboed into rest, and ended Plup's arduous run at 3rd place, with 2 God victories under his belt and an EVO medal around his neck. Up next is Alliance's Armada. Armada came into EVO this year as the champion from 2015, and also a strong contender for victory this year. Regardless, he's always a strong contender for the gold, and his seeming inability to lose to anybody outside of the top 6 has guaranteed his spot on the final day for countless major tournaments in the past several years. Armada's first set of the day in winners was definitely one to watch. He would be playing against Lucky, acquired by Team Selfless at the end of May. Lucky is a player who's demonstrated potential for top-level play, but historically he struggles to maintain his output. Game 1 went to Dreamland, giving the trade-off between Fox's maneuverability and Peach's survivability. Though Lucky managed to play a strong hit-and-run game and keep things close, Armada's explosive punish game turned even the most innocuous love taps into kills and turned it into a 2-stock victory. Game 2 seemed to be going Armada's way with a full stock lead, 3-2, but Lucky turned up the Jets and took 2 stock of his own before dying, bringing it to last stock on both players. Lucky dragged out a lead only to watch it nearly vanish after a solid combo from a shield grab, but a neatly placed back air made it his win and sent it to Game 3. Game 3 saw Lucky starting off incredibly strong, racking up over 100% on Armada to 25 of his own. However, a shield grab into low percent edge guard, followed by 2 side B self-destruct, plunged Lucky to a 3-stock to 1 deficit. And despite an attempt to rally with more strong play on his final stock, Lucky fell to loser's bracket, and Armada went on to winner's quarters. Armada's next opponent was Duck, with Samus making it to quarterfinals on the back of wins over Westballs and Shootat. This match turned out to be a marathon crawl of Samus vs. Peach, Game 1 starting on Dreamland and both players surviving well past 150% on each stock. The match ended at the 8-minute mark by time in Armada's favor. Game 2 turned into a similar slugfest, but an even closer slugfest on Pokemon Stadium. Though Duck kept it close, he was never able to secure more than a tenuous lead and always seemed to lose his stocks first, even when percents favored him. Armada, for his part, had some help from a Stitch-Face turnip on stock 1 to recover a lead, and though Duck dragged a brief lead at the end, Armada evened it up right after, and a long series of traded hits ended it in Armada's favor with 33 seconds left on the clock. This set proved to be a bit of foreshadowing for what would await Armada on the next day in top 8. Armada showed up day 3 ready to win. His close calls and game losses from the previous 2 days were mostly erased as he went into winner's semifinals against Mewtwo King. There remained traces of their set from Smash Summit 2, both matches of Marth Peach seeming rather close, but in the end, Armada took it down 2-0. As just mentioned, Armada also took a strong 3-0 over Plup to head into the winner's side of Grand Finals, with overwhelming levels of Sheik and Fox experience paying him dividends against the challenger. There, he waited for his last opponent of the tournament, who would turn out to be none other than Liquid's Hungrybox. Now we've covered his sets already, but let's do a quick recap. Hungrybox went down 0-2 to Plup in winner's semis. He took down S2J in losers 2-0, then he had to face off against Mango and won that 2-1 as well. That sent him into losers finals, where he had to face off against Plup again, and he took that one 3-1 in order to make it to Armada in grand finals. This is where the two gave us one of the most intense sets of Super Smash Bros. Melee in history, a full 10 games of Jigglypuff versus Fox to decide the champion. It would be a bit much to cover every game in depth, so let's look at the shape of the sets along with some of the biggest moments. Hungrybox started set 1 strong with 2 relatively quick wins, 1 stock on Battlefield and a 2 stock on Pokemon Stadium, whose foundations lay on the strength of 2 relatively early rest KOs. Armada seemed to find his footing instantly, however, and answered back with a 3 stock on FD, followed by a 2 stock on Dreamland. Hungrybox spent a while debating his counterpick and ultimately took it back to Battlefield, the same place that he won Game 1. This match instantly demonstrated itself to be different from the previous 4. Both players exchanged blows, neither taking a large lead, and when Armada surged ahead with the first stock, HBOX answered back instantly. The next stock, however, seemed to favor Armada. He took momentum, found more isolated hits, and secured jab into up air. With strong play, he continued to build damage on HBOX's third stock before going down with Puff at 67%. A shine into running up smash took that stock, and Armada held a clean, full stock advantage on Hungrybox's set point. Hungrybox seemed like he was going to swing the momentum, but Armada took it right back and built him to KO %, nearly ending with a swing for the fences up smash. He then found an up throw and almost connected with finishing up air, but HBOX smash DI'd out. Both players drastically slowed down their pace, and after a few incomplete edge guards, HBOX finally took Armada's third stock, but at 98% on his last. Armada played patiently, trying to drag HBOX into the center of the stage with a few lasers, but HBOX wasn't having it. A poking nair led to an up air that Armada DI'd off stage, and on his air dodge recovery, HBOX found up air into rest for the bracket reset. We will now take a momentary break to look at his face. We're back. Set 2 kicked off, returning to Battlefield. Despite a strong start from Hungrybox, actually holding a 3 stock to 1 lead, Armada swiftly brought it to 1 stock with a series of up airs, and then took Hungrybox's last stock with another string at a mere 61% for a violent comeback to get the edge. In Game 2, Hungrybox took another 3 stock lead, but this time didn't die so early and ended up winning with 2 stock. In Game 3, Armada took HBOX to Final Destination, and in similar fashion to the previous set, won a dominating game to bring him up 2-1. Game 4, Hungrybox selected Dreamland, to the dismay of his fans. He had been soundly 3-stocked there in the previous sets, and after losing stock 1 cleanly, he actually missed an up throw rest that gave Armada a lot of free %. Hungrybox seemed to shake it off and took the next stock, but ended with 89% of his own. Armada took the next stock, dragged it to 140, building HBOX to 67% before dying, maintaining his lead. Then seemingly out of nowhere, HBOX found a grab, and an extended string into Tech Chase rest turned the game in his favor. Armada proceeded to clean house for the rest of the game, until another platform setup gave Hungrybox his second rest of the game at over 100%, and sent it to Game 5. Game 5 swung back and forth, but soon it seemed tilted in HBOX's favor. He took a 2-stock lead with a rest that vanished when Armada respawned and punished with up smash, sending the final game to 2-1. After that, however, the momentum seemed entirely Hungrybox's. He built up 138% before Armada could find a clean hit, but with a sudden surge, Armada took his entire stock. And then, as suddenly as he was beginning that comeback, he lost it. A rising back air sent Armada off the stage, and a sweet spot forward B brought him back. However, Armada's final error of the tournament was an accidental ledge jump, the aptly named tournament winner, and that was it. Hungrybox took the hit, took the Hedgehog, and took the tournament, becoming the champion of EVO 2016. With that, the tourney ended, and so does our recap. We saw up on the big stage some returning faces and some new ones, a full 10-game grand finals, and a lot of noise, screaming, passion, and heart in the Mandalay Bay Arena. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.